for me to being the only one that's about to graduate in the family and now just getting drafted, extremely blessed. And the coach, he told me, the running back coach said, I told you I'll be back for you. And once he told me that, I'm like, you were right. And I definitely really appreciate you, coach, and, believing in me. And it's time to get to work.
That was our new running back, Isaih Pacheco. So I want to talk about him as well as our other 7th round picks, those being a cornerback, another one, and a safety. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall, so sub if you're new, hit that like button if you think Veach absolutely crushed this year's draft, and let's get into these 7th round picks. To start things off with the 243rd pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Chiefs selected cornerback Jaylen Watson. He's another Steve Spagnuolo type of cornerback, big, long, and athletic at 6'2", 197 pounds, quick on his feet, and loves to press at the line of scrimmage. Again, this is what Spags wants, a corner that is physical and loves that action because he often puts them out on an island. Let's be honest here. And you got to win at the line of scrimmage in those situations. So that is for sure a good sign. Last season with Washington State in 2021, Watson recorded 31 tackles, 2 picks, 3 passes defended, and 4 fumble recoveries. That's a lot, really. The Chiefs also recently brought him in for a top 30 visit. And with Watson being slotted as a day 3 corner, you had to wonder if they would indeed select him because they love their day 3 corners. And listen to Charles Goldman's statement on Watson as he compares him to Joshua Williams, the cornerback we took in round 4. After transferring from a junior college, he became a 2-year starter with the Cougars. Some people valued him ahead of the draft as being a day 2 pick. So it's possible that Watson is more pro ready than the cornerback the Chiefs took back in round 4, but I'm not sure the ceiling is quite as high. So yeah, that is a pretty wild statement, to be honest, if that's the case. Imagine a 7th round pick coming in and just being more pro ready out the gate than our 4th rounder. Veach and company are great at what they do and often find gold deep in the mine of the draft. So I honestly wouldn't be extremely surprised here if that's the case. I mean, he excelled at his junior college, transferred to Washington State, played well enough there to go to the 2022 Senior Bowl and attracted attention there as well. So it seems like he's only getting better and better as time goes on. Is this going to be a steal like Trey Smith last year? Maybe. Maybe not, but you never know. And hey, do you guys remember Brett Veach in his pre-draft presser when he said there was a definite 1,000-yard rusher in the later rounds of the draft?
Never seen such a large group of, 5th, 6th, 7th round running backs. And it's like the names go from the top of the ceiling down to the bottom. So there'll certainly be I told the guys, my prediction is there'll be a 1,000-yard rusher that is an undrafted free agent or 7th round pick just by the sheer volume of numbers.
Well, my question to you all is, did we find one of those guys? Because with the 251st pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Chiefs selected running back Isaih Pacheco out of Rutgers. And during his interview with the media, he was asked that exact question about a potential 1,000-yard rushing year.
Absolutely. Being a guy that had few injuries, not many injuries in his career, and from coming from Rutgers and being able to run with a line, no offense to my guys at Rutgers, we struggled a little bit there with the offensive line. So being able to come and compete early at the next level with a good offensive line is big time for me.
So yeah, last year alone, he rushed for 647 yards and caught 13 passes. And that was with a offensive line, he said, without being too harsh to them, wasn't the greatest. And we know the Chiefs have a great O-line, and it's only getting better with our offensive tackle added yesterday or 2 days ago, Darian Kennard. Now, during all 4 seasons at Rutgers, he rushed for 2,442 yards and 18 TDs. And he's built similar, in my opinion, to Priest Holmes at 5'10", 216 pounds with plenty of speed. In fact, this guy tied for the fastest time among all running backs at the Combine, running a 4.37 40. He loves blocking, loves the game of football in general, and will even play special teams. And speaking of special teams, he was a returner his freshman year at Rutgers, so he's got that skill up his sleeve as well. He's definitely somebody that's willing to do it all. In fact, he could even be used as a potential starting returner if we're being honest here. So yeah, very quick and physical in the trenches. He specifically said he's excited to block for Patrick Mahomes. So he does enjoy the physical aspect of blocking and said that is a standout trait for him. And even in games at Rutgers when they were down, like the game was over, no chance of them winning, he was still willing to give his all and also had a nice performance at the Shrine Bowl. He was asked by the media what he brings to the Chiefs talent-wise, and this is what he said.
Definitely being a guy that could compete all 3 downs, pass protection, being able to catch the ball, and being able to run on first and second down whenever we need to gain the short yardage, or being able to compete on special teams more specifically. For me to come out there and block my behind off of Patrick will be a great standout for me to get on the field on 3rd down. Giving 120% and competing, willing to take another grown man's job.
He's willing to take another grown man's job. And as funny as that was to me, he was not joking. Also to note, the man was swinging his phone all around like it was a lightsaber. But I think what he was trying to do is put the speaker to his ear to hear what was being asked. But it was nice to get a glimpse of the sky and the streetlights over there where he was. Anyway, from some of the tape I've watched on him, which is probably a few dozen plays, not a ton, but he will put his head down and lay into people. At times I saw patience in the backfield as he was looking for good openings to jet through, but at other times he looked impatient and rushed a bit prematurely. But hey, he's young and will do things right at times and wrong at other times. I think his speed is something that can cause that impatience for sure because he is quick. So yeah, I'm not sure he's an instant starter in the backfield, though we could very well see him as a returner. But you guys know how the Chiefs like to work. They like to utilize a group of backs of 2 to 3 guys rather than just one. That is when they actually do run the ball. Seth Kaiser says, watching Isaih Pacheco highlights is an excellent reminder of how many talented running backs fall in the draft. That dude has some wheels. His own head coach from Rutgers, Greg Schiano, had this to say about Pacheco: the toughest running back I have ever coached. And he's coached the likes of Ray Rice, Brian Leonard, and Doug Martin. And the NFL Draft Bible had this to say about Pacheco prior to the draft: Pacheco is built like a thoroughbred. There is nothing fancy to his overall game, but the New Jersey native does a bit of everything very well. His vision, patience, and toughness enables him to break many easy would-be tackles. Pacheco is also a very dependable pass catcher and an above average blocker in pass protection. You love to see that. In addition, he boasts special teams experience to the resume, both as a returner and on coverage. Pacheco is quite possibly one of the most slept on prospects in this year's NFL draft. Well, the Chiefs did not sleep on him like a sleep number that they like to advertise on all their social media channels. That is for sure. And then the 259th pick for the Chiefs was safety Nezeeh Johnson out of Marshall. He's 5'10", 199 pounds, and ran a 4.35 40. And because of that speed, I would almost bank on him at least becoming a special teamer with the Chiefs. And here's a little bit more background on Marshall thanks to Ron Kopp Jr. from Arrowhead Pride. Johnson played wide receiver in high school, earning over 1,000 yards and all conference honors. He became a preferred walk-on at Marshall, eventually earning a scholarship 2 years into his college career. He started 4 seasons, totaling 302 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 7 interceptions, 19 passes defense, and a defensive touchdown. Johnson played 50% of his snaps as a slot defender in 2021, but also played as a free safety. I don't know what just happened. Just pretend it didn't. Anyway, Johnson played 50% of his snaps as a slot defender in 2021, but also played as a free safety and in the box. So this is another versatile guy. Spags loves guys who can kind of rotate all around and move in and out and do this and do that. So yeah, he may be a jack of all trades rather than someone who fills a specific role. With a lot of these late round picks being corners, the Chiefs are drafting multiple, hoping they really land and develop at least a couple of them. So yeah, Johnson is a definite developmental depth piece here. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so with all that being said, let's look at everyone the Chiefs selected in this draft. In round 1, you have cornerback Trent McDuffie at pick 21, and defensive end George Karlaftis at pick 30. In round 2, you have wide receiver Sky Moore at pick 54 and safety Brian Cook at pick 62. Then in round 3, you have linebacker Leo Chenal at pick 103. Round 4 was cornerback Joshua Williams at pick 135. And round 5, you had the mad guy Hulk Smash offensive lineman Darian Kennard at pick 145. And then you have our 7th rounders, cornerback Jaylen Watson, running back Isaih Pacheco, and safety Nezeeh Johnson. What do you guys think about these players? You like them? Dislike them? Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know how you guys would grade this draft from Brett Veach and the Chiefs. PFF themselves give the Chiefs draft choices an A+. So they think the Chiefs knocked it out of the park. Could this be Brett Veach's best draft in his career? It's a very good one on paper. So yeah, it very well could be. Yet I would say, let's see how things go. Draft grades mean very little if the players drafted don't translate into solid performers on the field in the NFL. But initial reaction and thoughts from me, very good draft. I am freaking happy and excited here. But here's a few more thoughts on this year's draft performance. Brandon Kiley from BK Sports Talk said, if you put together the Chiefs draft in a mock simulator, you would have been laughed at for how unrealistic it was to get these names where they have. Brett Veach is on a heater. Drafting is like trading in the stock market. Not everything you invest in will work out, but there are ways to maximize your investment. That's what Brett Veach is doing this year. No clue how many of these picks will hit, but the process has been outstanding. Jordan Foote from Sports Illustrated said the Chiefs really went to Vegas and are coming away with a massive win, a tradition unlike any other. Rick Burkholder, who is VP of Sports Medicine and Performance for the Chiefs, said 29 drafts in my career, and this was the most enjoyable one for me. To watch Veach and his team work so systematically without chaos or egos was a great learning experience. That group is so good that I am not even sure those of us around them all the time even know it. And this guy said here the Chiefs drafted guys who play the way Tyrann Mathieu tweets, which is hilarious, but I love it. And hey, remember the Tyreek Hill trade? Yes, you do. But the picks that we got for him, we have to take note of this because I'm pretty sure we turned those picks from this year that we got from Tyreek into cornerback Trent McDuffie, wide receiver Sky Moore, and offensive lineman Darian Kennard. So those are 3 key players to watch, and we need to keep eyes on specifically. And then coming out of the draft, where are we? What else do we need to do to complete the team? I mean, one thing that I can think of for sure is we need to shore up the D-line with another free agent signing. Could it be Melvin Ingram? What if it was? Would you guys be happy, at least for the time being, with the addition of George Karlaftis there as well? You got Chris Jones, Frank Clark there for another year. Would that be enough? Here's a couple tweets that echo my thoughts, at least with bringing Melvin Ingram back. Literally, all the Chiefs need to do is sign Melvin Ingram. If the Chiefs end this draft by re-signing Melvin Ingram, then Brett Veach pitched a perfect game. Add Ingram back into the mix, go win a Super Bowl. I think they still have enough wiggle room in the cap to be able to sign someone like Ingram. I mean, we have to do something, that is for sure. What are your guys' thoughts on that? The D-line, what do we need to do to shore that up? Are there any other positions on the team that you are nervous about? Are you happy, sad, mad, upset about the draft? Who is going to be? This is a real question that I want you guys to answer. Not that the rest were fake. I don't know why I said real. But who do you predict to be the biggest breakout pick? And who will potentially be the biggest bust of the draft? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and in a year or two, we'll have to visit and see how those comments panned out. It's certainly a very exciting time here in Chiefs Kingdom, and there's still a lot to cover, so make sure to sub for more news like this, because I'll be here pretty much every day bringing you news like this and much more with all of our news signings, mini camp, all that good stuff. And here, take a look at yesterday's video if you haven't already, which talks about our 4th and 5th round picks. And until next time, let's go. How about those